welcome to the first analog live stream in 2 weeks. Sorry for the extended absence, but, well, that's what happens when there's a national holiday, and then I just straight up get sick. Oops! Anyway, better late than never, and here we are tonight with Gale Force 3192.
Hello!
And a whole lot has happened this past week, so we should have something of a new segment ready for you guys, but truth be told, we don't. Most of what's been, there was the whole Kingdom Hearts 3 thing, and oh my god, Toy Story. And I've already seen fan art of Woody shouting at Sora saying, "You are a toy!" Which was great. I just can't wait to hear Donald say, "You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity." There was that, okay. I don't really think anybody needs to... I don't think really we need to really give our hot takes on that, because our hot take on that is going to be the same as literally everybody else's, which is somewhere between, I don't play Kingdom Hearts, so meh, and I play Kingdom Hearts, and... So, that's, a little bit redundant, really. There's also been news that Koro Koro, the Japanese gaming / anime / just general geekery magazine, is going to be producing a Splatoon anime. Which, at this point, that's really all the information we have to go on. Koro Koro's it's a thing that's going to exist, Koro Koro's producing it, and it's going to be hosted on their YouTube channel. I don't know at this point whether or not there will be any plans to dub or sub it, but well, fingers crossed. I loves me some Sploon. Oh, and of course, notorious conservative provocateur and just general frigid bitch, Ann Coulter, decided to completely lose her shit on a Delta flight. And, you remember the guy who got booted off of a United Airlines flight and was literally, bodily beat the hell up and then carried the hell out? Well, don't all answer at once.
Well, sorry, it's just yes, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's not what happened. It's just somebody else was given her seat. And it's not even a big deal, because she was given another seat that was basically exactly the same. She booked a seat with extended legroom. You know, how tall is Ann Coulter? I want to look this up, because...
Excuse me, sorry about that.
Let me see here. Okay, she's exactly 6 feet tall. Interesting. Then again...
Wow.
According to Google, Vladimir Putin is 5'7", so I'm starting to think that maybe these, when it comes to conservative cutbacks at least, they prefer to err on the side of excess with height estimates. That being said, I am 6 feet tall. I'm 6'2", actually. You know what? I have never needed to book when I go on a flight. Despite being large in every sense of the word, I'm tall, I'm fat. I've never had to order any kind of special... I've never had to reserve any special kind of seating. Just put me in coach, and I'm ready to fly. Accidental reference. Oops. So, I mean, this is... I love how these conservative talking heads love to talk about how, us millennials and us liberals are just so entitled in regards to everything, and then they get on a flight and pull this bullshit. It's the most amazing hypocrisy in the world.
Yeah, pretty much.
It just, like, really? And you lash out at Delta Fort, and then you also lash out at the poor girl who ended up getting your seat, calling her a dachshund-legged woman. Really? I mean, I saw the photo you took of her, by the way. Not necessarily illegal, but major douche move. She did not look like she was some stubby-legged little tiny person. She didn't look like stupid tall like you. She didn't look like stupid tall, but I mean, it's not about your physical requirements as to what seat you end up with on an airline. It's what you pay for. And if you're fat like me, but not fat like me, see, I'm kind of like, all of my mass is more or less aligned on the same. Is more or less aligned. It's basically just all belly fat for me, honestly. Like, I don't take up a lot of space from side to side. Which is why I don't need 2 seats. Like, that's literally, like, the only reason, because I still weigh, like, 300 pounds working on it. Like, other guys my height and weight probably do need, like, the extra seating and whatnot, and it's bullshit that you gotta pay for 2 seats just to get somewhere, which is why I prefer to avoid flying at all costs. But, like, I'm sorry, you paid extra for a seat with extra legroom. You were not given the exact seat you asked for, but still got a seat with extra legroom, and then you pull a complete bitch fit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but other folks have it worse off than you do. Call me back when somebody bodily drags you off the plane and makes you swallow teeth. You know? Actually, please do, because I will cover that story with unending glee. I like watching assholes get their asses beat. Sue me. Ah, Ifrit's here.
Yes, he is. He keeps on at overtime.
He loves pushing the button. Oh, by the way, Ifrit, you missed the news.
So I missed.
I also added a new sound to the soundboard. Because
So I noticed.
Because the German guy they got to voice Wario in the first few Mario parties was just kind of, yes, good, perfect.
So what was the news story?
Just the gaming related stuff that's popped up in the last week or so, plus Ann Coulter throwing a bitch fit. All in all, it was all pretty, slapdash, informal, quick stuff, because it's mostly stuff that people could probably predict how we feel already, you know?
Okay. Surprised you didn't talk about the story from Seattle.
Seattle? What happened in Seattle?
There has been recent fight at the, what was it, I can't remember what it was called. It was around the mayor office. I think it was. Somewhere around there. There's been a deal going on where they've been having issues with people defecating around the streets, or urinating and vomiting.
Well, I mean, you can't do much about vomiting in public, let's be honest.
Vomiting in public, yes, but defecating and urinating.
Working on it. Most I can find is... Okay, literally the only thing I can find on that is from the Daily Caller, so automatically I'm suspicious. Also, how slow a news week is it that people's bodily functions are suddenly news?
Well, it's not so much that they're trying to. What I saw, they were trying to at least stop it, or to at least put in decline or stop it entirely, like put in fines or something. But there's people that are against that because it goes against, I don't know, like it treats blacks like slaves or something like that.
What?
Yeah, you did get this from the Daily Caller, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Okay, but like, I looked up Seattle public defecation, which is going to be on my search history now. Oh no. And literally all I could find is... Oh, the only thing I can find from within the past year is one article from the Daily Caller and one blog post, actually, about how Seattle needs to bring back public bathrooms as a means of dealing with public defecation.
That's one of them.
I actually 100% agree with. Like,
here's hold on. Whether you actually care for the source or not is different means entirely. But wait. Oh, no. Okay.
Well,
now, whether or not you actually... Hold on.
If it's not an obvious tabloid and it cites its sources, I'm happy.
Okay. Try this one. Because I know this came around like crazy, but not like crazy. You get my name.
Oh my.
Just grab them in the biscuit.
I love it when the double entendre hits. How do you guys put up with me?
You broke up a bit, Gale.
Yeah, Wendy, you're kind of coming through a bit shaky again.
I was just laughing.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, so long as that doesn't persist. If your shaky connection persists for more than 4 hours, go see a doctor immediately.
Viva Viagra!
Oh god, no. We have fun here. Any luck finding
either? Oh, anything else?
Did you find any information?
I sent a link to one of the news article.
Oh, did you?
And look, it's exclusive.
Oh, that's why I didn't see it. I was looking at the general. Derp-a-derp. Okay, place I've never heard of. That's at least not unpromising. The same kind of recording Seattle, Soundwalk Junction, you and your uncovered next from us. Oh, shelter. Okay, report from the Seattle Times. That's useful. And... okay. Well, I'm not going to look at that one specifically because there is a source article that it's taking its information from, so I'm actually going to look at that if you don't mind. Judges complain it's safe and unsanitary outside the King County Courthouse in Seattle. This ought to be interesting. Oh, and lest I forget, I should probably make sure the rest of you guys can see this, shouldn't I? Yes, I should. Now I just need to hit the right button for once. Boop. Ah! What am I doing? I've got a soundboard. Perfect. Okay. We're Originally posted July 11th, so we are more or less up to date. This is just a week old. With an update the day after. Nice. I love it when we're up to date. So, 2 judges said assaults on jurors and courthouse employees, combined with conditions, including the stench of excrement and urine, are creating a frightening atmosphere around the courthouse at 3rd and James in Seattle. Byline, Christine Claridge, Seattle Times staff reporter. Lovely. 2 King County Superior Judge... 2 King County Superior Court judges are asking for help cleaning up the courthouse at 3rd Avenue and James Street after they say 2 jurors and half a dozen employees have been assaulted. The judges, Laura Inveen and Jim Rogers, acknowledged Tuesday that there are difficult underlying circumstances contributing to the unsanitary and potentially frightening atmosphere around the courthouse. They, along with the King County Sheriff John John.
Come, John Madden.
John Madden. Also recognize that there are 2 elements at play. Crime and the fear of crime, with the latter being just as likely to keep people away as the former. Well, I mean, that is kind of how things work, yes. The nearby blocks host most of the city's homeless shelter beds and many of its social service outlets, which draw those who need help and the people who prey on them. That's nothing new, Rogers said. But for whatever reasons, things have just gotten worse over the past few years, and jurors and potential jurors report being afraid to go to the courthouse, the judges said. The judges said they have started hearing from jurors who want to do their civic duty at the county's Superior Courthouse in Kent because they don't want to come to the downtown courthouse. I've never seen it this bad, Rogers said in a Tuesday morning presentation to the Metropolitan King County Council's Committee on Government Accountability and Oversight. Inveen told the committee about 2 incidents, one in late May and one in June, in which jurors were attacked in separate incidents outside the court. I'm just going to start skimming through the rest of this shit. No pun intended. Ifrit, I have a soundboard.
I don't care.
So I missed.
Fuck you too, buddy. Cleaning and patrolling. Okay, I do have this. Although cleaning and patrolling the area immediately surrounding the courthouse would not address some of the deep-seated issues faced by denizens of the space, it was to send a signal that somebody was paying attention. So said... Inveen. Yes, that was Inveen. She and Rogers asked the county to take immediate steps to clean up the courthouse with a daily power wash of the surrounding sidewalks, which reek of urine and excrement. They also asked that the county empty trash cans more frequently, remove bus stop benches. Okay, that's a dick move. Really? Remove bus stop benches and... Bus stop benches are not homeless people beds. Like, if you see a hobo sleeping on a bus station bench, you don't remove the bench. You tell the hobo that there's a homeless shelter like a block down, which apparently
just tell him you can't sleep here.
Which apparently in this part of Seattle is true.
That's one thing I really don't agree with the Seattle Police Department. Everything else, fine. Go ahead and do it. But the fact that they get rid of the bus, what was it getting? The bus benches?
Well, that was a proposal by the judges. Yes.
Okay. Well, the fact that it was proposed already seems fishy.
And
at that
on
point,
top of that, removing tents from the adjoining park and increasing the presence of law enforcement. I question the wisdom of increasing law enforcement presence in the area, if only because in certain neighborhoods that can arguably put people more on edge and lead to more friction. But that is very much on a case-by-case basis, and I don't think I really know enough to fully comment on that, so we'll see.
It depends on the situation. When it came to that, I see it more as I see it like a city builder in that case, where there's a lot of crime going in one area, and the way to talking people are already afraid of going into the area where all the crap's going in. You get the thing.
You're lucky I have a soundboard.
But they're afraid of going through that area, which means places any cost of living there is going to go down. Which I know we're talking about a courthouse, but still, and it will lead to crime being on the rise because those people are going over there, which means that there's less people that are going to be calling out crimes.
Well, on the one hand, you have a point there. On the other hand, I think that's mostly in cases of, like, violent crime and larceny. This is neither of those things. This is just people taking a dump in the wrong place. Which, as the blog post I found on the Google search earlier points out, could very easily be remedied just with more public bathrooms.
That's true.
Now, and for some reason they also suggested rerouting traffic by closing the 3rd Avenue entrance and reopening one on 4th Avenue? What, do you think the hobos are driving in to take a dump on your sidewalk?
I mean, those crafty hobos, you know.
Yes, those damn hobos. Seattle Police Captain Mike Teeter, commander of the West Precinct, said that police patrol the area heavily. Okay, so it's already pretty heavily watched. That's kind of to be expected in an area that's got a frickin' courthouse in it, I'd argue. And that while there's certainly people in crisis or need who behave in ways that make others uncomfortable, which is par for the course for homeless people, I think. A lot of mental... Unfortunately, there's a pretty big mental illness issue within the homeless community, just about anywhere you go.
Yeah.
And these people just don't get the help they need. Statistically, Teeter said a person is actually slightly less likely to be assaulted near the courthouse than in some other areas of the city. I mean, so far we've got a total count of, 8 people who claim they've been assaulted? Even if we're going by... Even if this was, over a relatively short period of time, just over the course of this year so far, I would argue that by large metropolitan standards, that's honestly not too bad.
It's a small number. Admittedly so, it's a small number.
Yes. It sucks on the one hand that it happens at all, but, no system's perfect, you know? He also said that police are not able to address some of the things that may be intimidating to occasional visitors, such as seeing someone standing on the street corner and yelling. Which, around here, we just call that street preaching.
Yeah, this guy!
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah! Watches!
You know where they do that shit downtown in my city? They do it on the fucking university campus. Which is greatly entertaining, because Lord knows college students always have a pithy response to it. My personal favorite was the time I was walking by a street preacher who shouted, "I was once a sinner like you!" And someone in the crowd responded, "And then you took an arrow to the knee?"
We had something similar. There was something similar to that in Stillwater. I think it was last year. I was in Stillwater last year. Was during my last job hunt, and I saw an old. And as I was going through the little mini mall area. There was this person talking about end of days and all that type of stuff. His own with his own picket sign and everything.
Of course.
So, what I do, I decide I want to try and ruin this moment.
I love ruining the moment.
I need to try. So I'm trying to think of whatever. I'm trying to think of what I can do to try and ruin it. So, I look on my phone at the time, I see Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Oh no.
I decided to park as close as I can to him.
Oh no. Oh, this is too good.
Put it on constant repeat. And and then I play it. I slowly start to bring the volume up. Windows are open. Windows are down. Everything. To make it even more annoying, I open the doors with the speakers on them to allow out even more of the sound. He's trying. He's just screaming his head off. And then as he's screaming his head off, I start walking towards him and I start dancing. As good vibrations starts up. You got the good vibrations. That part, you know?
Oh my god, that's fucking amazing. There's only one way I can think that could have possibly gone any better. And I'm gonna link this for you guys to actually see, but that's if you were playing this.
I haven't finished yet. There's still one more good part that happens. So, as I was dancing, he starts trying to yell and yell. Then he just stops for a moment, turns to me, and says, "Will you turn that record off?"
No.
It's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
And you're just kind of standing there doing a pelvic thrust.
Yes.
Oh, that is the most Ifrit form of counter protest I've ever heard in my fucking life.
We got weird looks. Some people were laughing.
I hope to God that made it to YouTube.
No.
Damn it. How do you know?
I looked.
No phones?
Nothing.
Looked!
Oh.
Of course you looked.
Googling yourself.
But
Just in case
but
you
yeah,
accidentally became a meme.
When I get bored, I Google myself.
But I just continued dancing for a little bit, and then he just keeps looking at me. It looks dejected and just walks off. And I just kept dancing for just a little bit longer, and then left. I don't know if he just stopped completely, or if he just went. I don't know if he stopped completely, or just went somewhere else to do his antics.
He leaves, just slumped over and dejected. Song ends. You bow. You leave. Everyone applauds. In a perfect world, anyway. Sadly, this is not a perfect world, so I need to keep talking about hobos shitting in the street.
Seriously, is this a perfect world? We'd be golfing for Jesus.
Oh, don't you start with me on that again. Except, totally start with me on that again. I swear, if the Cinema Snob doesn't review Birdie and Bogey, we gonna do that. Oh, we gonna do that. Anyway, back to the news. And I clicked on the wrong window. Oops, there we go. He said, stranding on the street corner yelling. Though it makes people uncomfortable, he said it's not a crime. Brian Wetzel, a Port Orchard resident who was passing through the neighborhood on his way to the airport, understood the concerns. He said the area seemed kind of seedy. But Renee Wingnut, Wingit? Wingnut.
I mean, the person he said it was. He said
a quote-unquote permanent resident of the park. You know this is gonna be good. Scoffed later Tuesday at the idea that the patch of land near the courthouse was any worse than anywhere else. The area may look a little rough at the edges, she said, but there's nothing to be afraid of out here. People who are afraid probably just haven't experienced homelessness, but experience is a great teacher. Oh, wow, that's... okay. I love it when I find homeless people who speak coherently. And that sounds like an absolutely asshole thing to say, but, like, most of the homeless people I've had the pleasure of interacting with haven't been the most coherent people. Anyway. Seattle resident Mary Hendrickson said she'd been homeless for a time and had no fear of the people who hang out near the courthouse. Compared to other gatherings, the folks at Muscatel Meadows, as the park is sometimes called, are actually a pretty docile group, Hendrickson said. Sometimes they'll be yelling and drinking, not intimidating to me. Addressing areas problems without getting to the cause. Okay, here we go. Councilmember Larry Gossett said he didn't like the idea of power washing the sidewalks because it brought back images of the use of hoses against civil rights activists.
I mean, I don't know what's worse. The fact that he...
Is this Nation States? This feels like something from Nation States.
No. See, here's what I don't get. Is he...
The Rogue Nation upon Touchy has banned power washing in an attempt at racial sensitivity. What the fuck?
What?
Seriously, that... What?
What?
I mean, I don't know what's worse. Is he triggered by people cleaning poop out, or does he think that black people are poop?
What?
When you put it that way, I'm so confused. Why did they...
This doesn't... It's a lose-lose situation either way!
Why did he... Okay, first of all, why the hell did he feel the reason to say that? For another, why did anybody feel the reason to take him seriously?
I don't know. This is the bad side of the left. Are you surprised?
This isn't even the bad side of the left. This is just the stupid side of the left.
Exactly!
Does he just not realize that power washing is a thing?
No, it's compared to whitewashing to him.
Oh!
Just grab him in the biscuit.
Okay, I might have thrown in one there at the end that wasn't a rim shot, but... This is just...
It's pure unadulterated stupidity.
Yeah, it's pure unadulterated stupid.
Well, at least Chief John had a rather good quote to rebut that. Or, not even rebut that, just a rather interesting response. When you're up to your keister and alligators, it's not the time to drain the swamp.
It cut off at the end on my end. I didn't hear the end of that.
I'm just gonna copy and paste this, because it's probably the most amazing piece of wisdom I've ever heard. I'm not sure if he was referring to how they need to respond to this issue, or how he felt about the current political climate in Washington. D.C., not state.
I figured.
Well, I mean, it's in Seattle, so I felt the need to clarify just in case.
Felt the need to specify.
We need to stop naming things Washington. It's getting confusing. Anyway, so... loath though I was to believe it in the first place, apparently someone actually did say that. Stay classy, Seattle. This is turning into what the fuck is wrong with you for politics. I'm strangely okay with that. Well, at any rate, that's not what people came here for this week. What people came here for is Twilight. And after, I think, 3 straight chapters now of nothing happening, having read the first paragraph of this next chapter, I've got some good news.
Oh my god, is something gonna happen?
Well, yes, we finally get to the sparkling.
What?
You know, the sparkling, the thing that everybody makes fun of the vampires in Twilight for.
Oh, right! All right.
Good response. Well, let's not waste any more time. I'm actually looking forward to diving into this because the first paragraph is amazing. So, let's get into it tonight. Chapter 13, Confessions. I'm not in read mode. Oops. There we go. I fix. Edward in the sunlight was shocking. I couldn't get used to it. Take a drink. Though I'd been staring at him all afternoon. His skin, white despite the faint flush from yesterday's hunting trip, oh my, literally sparkled like thousands of tiny diamonds were embedded in the surface. You know something? If I was completely uninitiated to all of the quirks, shall we say, of this story, and I read the literally sparkled line, I would have just been like, oh god damn it, Stephanie, don't use the word literally when you don't mean when you don't mean literally.
Yeah, you know how much I've bitched about that in videos, people using literally wrong.
You and me both. Unfortunately, she meant literally. And I'm being literal there. My brain hurts. He lay perfectly still in the grass, his shirt open over his sculpted incandescent chest. Hey, Edward, your headlights are on!
Don't worry, Bella, I'll save you. Ka-chow!
His scintillating arms bare. But he was wearing a shirt. Also,
no, it means his arms are bears now.
Stephanie, make Edward look even more beachy.
Are you trying to tell me that marble vampires reserve the right to bear arms?
Hey, look, bear arms!
Anyway, his glistening, pale lavender lids were shut, though of course he didn't sleep. So, this just in, Edward Cullen wears lavender eyeshadow. Oh, it just keeps getting worse. I love it.
I mean, are you surprised?
Again! Stephanie! Make Edward looking more...
She's for... Of all the perfect times for her connection to just derp out in the middle of the freakout is just, yes, I love.
God damn it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I was just flipping out at her, Stephanie making Edward even more beachy.
Beachy nothing, he wears drag queen makeup!
I'm just waiting for Edward to sing, I want to break free. I want to break free.
Don't you dare take the name of Freddie Mercury in vain, damn it.
Yeah, don't you fucking dare.
Hey, who says it's the Freddie Mercury version? It's the accordion version.
And besides, dude.
And there she goes again.
Breaking down on me.
Ah, so now we're throwing Queen and David Bowie under the bus. Great.
Hey, good job for him. I don't like doing it, but...
Well, you also can't do it when your connection keeps fucking up like that.
Ugh.
We have this problem every goddamn week, I swear. Right, well, I'm gonna leave you to do your own troubleshooting. I've got reading to do.
Well, see, I didn't even say anything.
I'm sorry, what?
See, I was just elaborating on my silence by saying that I...
It keeps cutting out of the important bit! God damn it! And, well, now it's just cutting out almost everything. Oh, this is going so well. Alright, well, I guess this is the part of the show where we decide to set up a Patreon. I guess this is the part of the show where we decide to set up a Patreon page. Just for the purposes of getting less shitty hardware.
Oh.
Thank you, Mordreen.
Yeah.
Right, well, while Windy tries to unfuck whatever the hell's going on over there, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep reading.
Hold it. Before we do that.
Oh no.
You got... Before we do anything, we must save Bella from Jacob and the rest of the Wolf Clan. You are a toy!
Thanks, Woody. Woody. Right, well. A perfect statue carved in some unknown stone. Smooth like marble, glittering like crystal. I mean... Opal? Sounds like opal.
Quick! Now we know his true nature. He's a fusion... Edward's a fusion...
Don't you dare bring Steven Universe into this! I like it too much.
I mean, it's true.
No!
Now and then his lips would move, so fast it looked like they were trembling. It burns. But when I asked, he told me he was singing to himself. It was too low for me to hear. I want to break free.
Under pressure.
God damn it. Well, that was
Judging by that reaction, you obviously heard that.
Yes, and that was probably the shortest wait for That was probably the shortest wait for payoff on a brick joke ever. And yet, here we are. Looking at a vulture with a brick in its mouth. Well, let's chew on that for a bit. The concept, not the brick.
I'm just laughing at the imagery.
What, of a vulture with a brick in its mouth?
Yes.
That's literally how the brick joke ends. Anyway. I enjoyed the sun too, though the air wasn't quite dry enough for my taste. Meanwhile, here I am in Cincinnati, where around this time of year it feels like we're in the middle of the fucking Amazon. Oh, you poor fucking baby. Seriously,
it's terrible here today. It was terrible here.
It was 93 degrees yesterday. Felt like triple digits. And I swear to God, I was swimming from my car to the movie theater. Oh, that is something I forgot to mention. I did see Baby Driver yesterday. These guys already know about it, and
Is it the sequel to The Boss Baby?
Mercifully, no.
No.
But it's so good. I'm not going to say too much about it because you've heard. If you've seen the midnight screenings review of it, if you've seen the double toasted review of it, if you've seen pretty much any review of it, you already know how good it is. And oh god, especially if you've seen it. Like, there's nothing I could possibly say to really add to what those other reviewers have already said. I certainly couldn't be quite as eloquent as them. But it's an amazing, amazing film. And it actually, honest to God, does go places you really don't expect it to. but it's just it is just non-stop amazement. Go see it, please. I'm begging you. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. You're doing yourself a favor. Eat the broccoli. Don't be a sissy boy. Sorry, Glove and Boots.
Bastards.
Anyway. But I stayed curled up, my chin resting on my knees, unwilling to take my eyes off him. The wind was gentle. It tangled my hair and ruffled the grass that swayed around his motionless form. This really is just an AMV, isn't it?
It's just missing Lincoln Park.
What?
The meadow, so spectacular to me at first, paled next to his magnificence. Oof. Hesitantly, always afraid, even now, that he would disappear like a mirage. Too beautiful to be real.
Dude! Bella, you're not in a desert. Don't worry about it.
Hesitantly, I reached out one finger and stroked the back of his shimmering hand where it lay within my reach. Okay?
This is making me sick.
How can a straight romance be this gay?
Between a straight couple!
I mean, they are sparkly. I marveled again at the perfect texture, satin smooth, cool as stone. Great. Congratulations, you've petrified your boyfriend.
Medusa!
Never reaching the end. God damn it!
When I looked up again, his eyes were open, watching me. Butterscotch today. Butterscotch? Does he have pudding eyes?
Oh my...
Also, now I really want butterscotch pudding.
Pudding eyes, cherry nipples.
No, I want a butterscotch dilly bar.
Cookie dough like ash.
Oh my.
What?
Just grab them in the biscuit.
I don't know.
Fortunately, Humpty does. So glad I swear, the more stuff I put on this soundboard, the happier I become. Anyway. His quick smile turned up the corners of his flawless lips. Quick smile? As opposed to a slow smile? Whatever. It's stupid. At least it's not as stupid as the secret smile from 50 Shades of Grey. A secret smile.
Secret squirrel?
Yes, exactly.
That was me. Rock on more.
I don't scare you? He asked playfully. For the 1000th time?
No!
Jesus. But I could hear the...
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How is sparkling scary? In fact, that makes you less scary if you sparkle. Count Duckula is more scary than you.
I mean, I guess he puts the phobia in homophobia? Look, he's sparkly, okay? I reserve the right to make that joke. Especially since I remember.
You're lucky I don't have Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, for a soundtrack right now.
Would that I did. He asked playfully, but I could hear the real curiosity in his soft voice. No more than usual. He smiled wider, his teeth... I can speak English, I swear, shut up. He smiled wider, his teeth flashed in the sun. I inched closer, stretched out my whole hand now to trace the contours of his forearm with my fingertips. Ooh. Sexy times.
Just grab them in the biscuit.
I saw that my fingers trembled and knew it wouldn't escape his notice. Do you mind? I asked, for he had closed his eyes again. No, he said without opening his eyes. You can't imagine how that feels. I would presume it feels like somebody just touching me on the arm. That's kind of what it... What the fuck does that even mean in this context?
I don't know.
Also, suddenly I just feel the need to... She seems to have an invisible touch, yeah. Sorry, Genesis.
God damn it.
And because I referenced Genesis, sorry, Hammond.
Holy shit! Yeah,
You okay over there?
I'm fine, but okay. I'm sorry to interrupt this deal again, but
What?
okay, hold on.
Ass.
Yes.
God damn it, Sigma.
Oh, it's
Okay.
It's worse than you know.
Okay.
It's worse than you know.
Yes.
Okay, I expected these games to reach Goodwill at some point, but not this quick.
Donc quoi? Well, don't leave us hanging, man! Tell us what happened!
Look on the general section. Someone at 4chan found an entire pallet of Mass Effect Andromeda at Goodwill.
Riveting.
Look at this! It's still, they're still sealed.
What?
What's even better is they're still sealed.
I can't believe. Look at how many there are! Two whole long boxes worth. Oh my god. I really want to send this to Phantom Savage.
Oh, come on, don't rag on the guy.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Do you have any idea how much fun it is to watch him get ragged on?
Still.
Fine, I'll send it to KZ so he can do it.
Okay, send it to KZ.
Yeah, there we go.
Just this. What amazes me is that they're still sealed. So I'm wondering, either did like a Walmart or a Best Buy send off a whole bunch of these, or what?
I'm starting to think these might be directly off the shelf. Yes. They're fucking overstock. I know people who are actual fans of Mass Effect Andromeda, who apparently can look past the glitchy mess of, just the glitchy, horrible mess as far as graphics go.
Just send them this.
I value their friendship more than I value being right.
Oh, come on. It's not. Come on. You guys can laugh at it later.
Thank you, Audrina. Sure. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading.
Oh, you do that. I just had to share that because this was just pure irony.
Oh man, that was fucking transcendental. Right. I lightly traced my hand over the perfect muscles of his arm, followed the faint pattern of bluish veins inside the crease at his elbow. With my other hand, I reached to turn his hand over. Realizing what I wished, he flipped his palm up in one of those blindingly fast, disconcerting movements of his. It startled me. My fingers froze on his arm for a brief second. Ooh, Indian burn. Sorry, he murmured. Take a drink. I looked up in time to see his golden eyes close again. Take another drink. It's too easy to be myself with you. Down the bottle.
I don't have a bottle.
I lifted his hand, turning it this way and that as I watched the sun glitter on his palm. I held it closer to my face, trying to see the hidden facets in his skin. Tell me what you're thinking, he whispered. I looked to see his eyes watching me, suddenly intent. It's still so strange for me not knowing. I mean, you're assuming she knows. You know, the rest of us feel that way all the time. It's a hard life. Did I mention the hint of regret in his tone? But you didn't tell me. Well, I mean, excuse me, Mr. NSA. Also, hi, NSA. I know you're listening. Least you can do is listen on a YouTube account so I get the view.
No, that'd be ridiculous.
Frazzum. I was wishing I could know what you were thinking. Take a drink. I hesitated. And? I was wishing that I could believe you were real. And I was wishing that I wasn't afraid. I love how she's just been like, I'm not afraid, just this entire book. And then she sees him fucking sparkling and she's like, I'm afraid! What?
Just that shouldn't, you shouldn't be afraid of sparkling. In fact, that just makes him even less, this makes him less intimidating. I don't care, vampire or not, I don't care.
Seriously.
You sparkle, you lose some.
It's not scary. It's not scary. It's fabulous.
Exactly, doll. It's exactly, babe.
Under pressure.
God damn it. That's not even about being gay. Unless it is, and I'm just completely missing it. Not unusual. Speaking of gay things.
It's not unusual to be loved by everyone. It's not unusual to be... I can't remember the rest of the lyrics, damn it! Shadowlay, all day and night. It's not unusual to see me cry. I wanna die.
So do I. I don't want you to be afraid. His voice was just a soft murmur. Okay, first of all, take a drink. And second of all, it's not what you've been saying for the other 12 chapters of the damn book! Like, seriously.
Also, a murmur is already soft. That's kind of redundant.
Well, yes. But most importantly, this is literally the diametric opposite of what he's been saying for the past 12 chapters. Motherfucker was perfectly fine with her being afraid of him up to this point. And how much you want to go back, how much you want to bet once we get done with this bit, he's going to go straight back to, I'm dangerous. Don't touch me, I am the knight.
Don't eat with me, for I am dangerous. No, you're not. You sparkle. Oh.
Yeah, it does kind of take the edge off. I heard what he couldn't truthfully say, that I didn't need to be afraid, that there was nothing to fear. Or we could just go straight back to that.
Yeah, exactly, because
he
fucking sparkles.
Sure, that's fine. Well, no, apparently that's what he couldn't truthfully say. So she probably should be afraid. There is something to fear. Except there really isn't. Idiots in love. Ain't it cute?
No!
Well,
that is the opposite of cute.
My thoughts exactly. Well, it's not exactly the fear I meant, though that's certainly something to think about. So quickly that I missed his movement, he was half sitting, propped up on his right arm, his left palm still in my hands. His angel's face was only a few inches from mine.
Is this bugging you? Is this bugging you? I'm not touching you.
I might have.
And then he died.
I might have, should have, flinched away from his unexpected closeness, but I have the reflexes of a slowpoke.
That's putting Slowpoke to shame. Shut up.
Or, as the book actually put it, but I was unable to move. His golden eyes mesmerized me. Take a drink, I guess. What are you afraid of, then? He whispered intently, but I couldn't answer. As I had just that once before, awkward phrasing, I smelled his cool breath in my face. Sweet, delicious, the scent made by mouthwater. Ew. It was unlike anything else.
He's a vampire that drinks animal blood. I'm sure his cool breath would not smell sweet.
Instinctively, unthinkingly, I leaned closer, inhaling. Hold on, this reminds me of something. Guys, stall for a second. I need to look something up. Oh, here we go. Perfect. One more second here. And push the button. Here we go. All I can think of now is this. I forgot to link it to you guys. Hold on. But also because it's hilarious. You guys could probably see it on the stream at this point, actually. I don't even really need to link it to you. If I could get that gift, not gift as in present, gift as in verbal, as in past tense verb form of gif.
Yeah,
I want somebody to make a gif of that, okay? Because that's fucking beautiful. And since I'm over here... we have a Venipede in the chat, apparently.
Yep.
And also Slayer, who is complaining that I haven't noticed him yet. And Ifrit just being an ass. I love this chat. This is a good chat. Thank you for being here, chat. All two of you. Where was I? I was there. Doing this. Right. Right. Part where she's putting her face in his mouth. And he was gone, his hand ripped from mine. Well, yeah, you just tried to stick your face in his mouth! In the time it took my eyes to focus, he was 20 feet away, standing at the edge of the small meadow, in the deep shade of a huge fir tree. He stared at me, his eyes dark in the shadows, his expression unreadable. I could feel the hurt and shock on my face. My empty hand stung. That's called friction, Bella. I'm sorry, Edward. I whispered. I knew he could hear. Give me a moment, he called, just loud enough for my less sensitive ears. I sat very still. After 10 incredibly long seconds, because clearly a second is not a concrete, immutable measurement of time, he walked back slowly for him. He stopped, still several feet away, and sank gracefully to the ground, crossing his legs. His eyes never left mine. He took 2 deep breaths, and then smiled an apology. I am so very sorry, he hesitated. Would you understand what I meant if I said I was only human? Ha! I'm not even going to dignify that with a rim shot. I nodded once, not quite able to smile at his joke. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm not the only one who thought that was stupid. Adrenaline pulsed through my veins as the realization of danger slowly sank in. He could smell that from where he sat. His smile turned mocking. I'm the world's best predator, aren't I? Damn it, you're gonna make me do this, aren't you? Mr. Cullen? Chris Hansen, have a seat. Everything about me invites you in. My voice, my face, even my smell. Dude, please wear deodorant. As if I need any of that. Unexpectedly, he was on his feet, bounding away, instantly out of sight, only to appear beneath the same tree as before, having circled the meadow in half a second. As if you could outrun me! He laughed bitterly. Okay, we really gotta switch these vampires to decaf. Decaf blood.
Who's been spiking those animals?
How much you want to bet it was them because they needed the challenge? Because vampires OP, please nerf. He reached up with one hand and, with a deafening crack, effortlessly ripped a 2-foot-thick branch. A 2-foot-thick branch? That's not a branch! I don't even think that's...
the tree itself!
I don't even think that's physically possible! Certainly not for a spruce. He balanced it in that hand for... You know what? At that point, it's not a branch. It's a fucking log. Log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood.
God damn it.
He balanced it in that hand for a moment, and then threw it with blinding speed, shattering it against another huge tree, which shook and trembled at the blow. That's not how trees work. That's not how wood works. And he was in front of me again, standing 2 feet away, still as a stone. Yes, okay, we get it, you're Superman. Fuck off. As if you could fight me off, he said gently. I swear, I roll my eyes any harder, I'm gonna disconnect my optic nerve. I sat without moving, more frightened of him than I had ever been. Oh. You know, he should have done this shit earlier. We could have saved ourselves a lot of trouble. I'd never seen him so completely freed of that carefully cultivated facade. He'd never been less human. Or more beautiful. God fucking damn it. Face ashen, eyes wide. Wait, face ashen. Boop, 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 boop. Hello! I didn't know Stuart Ashen was part of this.
Paradise.
With apologies to Ashens. Face ashen, eyes wide, I sat like a bird, locked in the eyes of a snake. I didn't think snake eyes were that big. I also didn't think snake eyes had locks on them. I know what she meant. Shut up. This is stupid. I'm not going to dignify it by taking it seriously. His lovely eyes seemed to glow with rash excitement. Then, as the seconds passed, they dimmed. His expression slowly folded into a mask of ancient sadness. Don't be afraid, he murmured, his velvet voice unintentionally seductive. The words get caught in my throat just because... Just, this whole thing is... I promise, he hesitated. I swear not to hurt you. That's not a promise. Unless it is. He seemed more concerned with convincing himself than me. Don't be afraid, he whispered again as he stepped closer with exaggerated slowness. He sat sinuously, with deliberately unhurried movements, till our faces were on the same level, just a foot apart. Sinuously? How does one sit sinuously?
Very carefully.
Also, I don't think that's how you spell sinuous, but let me just double check that real quick. Okay, that is technically how you spell sinuous. And apparently a definition of that is lithe and supple, or having many curves and turns, which means he's either built like Kim Kardashian or built like a kitty. Neither of which I want to picture. This is a bad day.
I'm a bad, bad man.
Yes, you are. Please forgive me, he said formally. I can control myself. You caught me off guard. But I'm on my best behavior now. Sure. He waited, but I still couldn't speak. I'm not thirsty today, honestly. Oh, aren't you?
Just grab him in the biscuit.
Oh no, we lost someone.
Oh no, we lost someone. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's yeah. Sorry. I don't mean to be so blithely dismissive of the viewers that I was just praising for being here, but like I'm just saying, I'm not overly worried, is all. They probably just got bored. Anyway. At that I had to laugh, though the sound was shaky and breathless. Are you alright? He asked tenderly, reaching out slowly, carefully, to place his marble hand back in mine. In mine, not mind. I really cannot read tonight, Jesus. I looked at his smooth, cold hand, and then at his eyes. They were soft, repentant. I looked back at his hand, and then... Look at your hand. Now back to me. Now back at your hand. Now back to me! With apologies to Old Spice. And then deliberately returned to tracing the lines in his hand with my fingertip. I looked up and smiled timidly. His answering smile was dazzling, because of course it was. So, where were we before I behaved so rudely? He asked in the gentle cadences of an earlier century. I honestly can't remember. I honestly wish I could forget. He smiled, but his face was ashamed. I think we were talking about why you were afraid, besides the obvious reason. Oh, right. Well, I looked down at his hand and doodled aimlessly across his smooth, iridescent palm. The second is... Wait, Taya, isn't this a permanent marker? With apologies to little Karibo. I think tonight's just going to be the apology tour. You guys still over there? No? Maybe. Oh, wow! I literally am just completely alone in the Discord chat right now. That's bad. Oh, and then okay, my Discord just completely fucked up on me. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna try and get this call back underway. Okay, that's good. That's great. Awesome. Outstanding. Amazing. All I did was press A. Okay, Wendy's still in here. That's good. Wendy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I think my my Discord just kind of went a bit fucky for a second there. Where'd Effort go?
I think it messed up on Effort's end too, because it's not even showing him as being online.
Yes. Well, it might have just been his entire connection getting knocked offline. It is a thing that happens with him sometimes. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, because I know my connection crapped out for a bit because my Discord just completely
it went
because yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least I managed to get it unfucked. That's good. Unfucked is a nice place to be. Ba-dum. Right. The seconds ticked by. How easily frustrated I am, he sighed. I looked into his eyes, abruptly grasping that this was every bit as new to him as it was to me. As many years of unfathomable experiences he had, this was hard for him too. Thank you, Mordreen. I took courage from that thought. I was afraid because, well, for obvious reasons, I can't stay with you. I'm gonna let that bit of italics have a pass, I think. And I'm afraid that I'd like to stay with you much more than I should. Oh, good, Ifrit's back.
Yep.
I looked down at his...
I forgot you.
What did you forget?
Nothing.
What did you do? Should I be worried? Am I gonna have to talk to the FBI again?
Wait, what?
I love it when people forget that I have family members in the Department of Defense. Specifically in their cyber division. So yes, sometimes I do talk to the FBI. Well, once I talked to the FBI. That's a story for another day, though. So. I looked down at his hands as I spoke. It was difficult for me to say this out loud. And here we are, back again to the we shouldn't be doing this. You're dangerous. I know. Ah! Yes, he agreed slowly. That is something to be afraid of indeed. Wanting to be with me. That's really not in your best interest. I love you, but I'm dangerous. But I love you, but I'm dangerous. But I love you, but I'm dangerous. But fuck you all!
Do you ever get the feeling of deja vu?
Pardon me for a second. Just excuse me for one second here. I just need to. I just need to. I need.
I think I broke him.
Sorry about that. Where were we? No, seriously, where were we? I lost my place. You okay over
I'll be fine.
there? We're all just horribly broken at this point. Wouldn't be an analog stream without it. So, I frowned. I also frowned. Ifrit and Windy probably frowned as well. I don't know. We're not on a video call. I should have left long ago, he sighed. I should leave now, but I don't know if I can. Deja vu. God damn it. Well, I know what I'm calling this week's stream, at least. There we go. Is it me or is Venipede just plain weird? Venipede is absolutely just plain weird. Slayer, I'm not calling the stream Shrek's bath problem. Shut up.
Just call it, I can't believe... Look, just call it, I can't believe Nosferatu is this cute.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't just make that reference. For the sake of our friendship, I'm going to pretend you didn't just make that reference. I'm also going to pretend I didn't know what that reference actually is.
You do.
Lord knows I wish I didn't.
I can't believe my sister is this cute.
Get out!
Okay.
No, wait! I should know better at this point. He'll be back. Maybe. At least I still have you, Windy. Oh. I think I still have Windy. Windy? Are you there, Windy? Okay, so... it might... I legitimately do not know what's going on anymore. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. I really do still need to make a technical difficulties card for this. I'll work on it. Where the fuck is the fuck? Wendy? Can you hear me? Hello? Ifrit? I think we
what's
lost...
wrong place.
I think we lost Windy. So... and there he goes back out again. This is a shambles. But at least I know it's not an issue on my end, it's one on hers. Okay, well, I'll leave her to figure that out. I guess I'll just keep reading until Ifrit comes back. Goody. Oh.
Timing!
Oh, good. So, okay, so he's back and you've managed to unfuck your connection. Good, great, awesome, outstanding.
Hello, everybody!
Oh, hi, Gandhi. How's your sex life?
Quite marvelous, thank you very much. Due to the owner of this place, due to the owner of this account having an untimely leave, I am taking over for the moment. Yay!
As if I needed to ask about the sex life. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, Gandhi is... It's not actually Gandhi. It's if we're doing a Gandhi impression, but you know what? Let's humor him.
Hey, shut up. You shut your mouth, you stupid bastard. Look, get on my level, get on your knees, and suck my dick, okay? Okay?
You shut your whore mouth when Kermit the Frog is talking.
I don't give a shit who you are, Kermit the Frog. You are nothing but frog legs to me. You have me sticky. You're fucking a pig, dude. Why?
Well, I got a lot more than Miss Piggy, believe you me. Do you know that one night I made a new friend a few years back, don't you remember? He's a mouse.
Damn it, I need some, like, doomy music to put in for that bit.
All around me are worn out places. Worn out faces.
The new hot album coming out this fall. Gandhi sings.
Oh, yeah. Can't stop my heart and...
You know, I always loved that song. Loved, past tense.
Tell me why I have to be a power slave. I don't want to die. I'm a god. Why can't I live on?
Because somebody shot you?
Damage.
Yeah, well, that's history for you. Just people getting shot. A lot.
History's something, but alternate history is a thing. Oh, yes.
Well, you know how I feel about alternative facts. Oh! Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep reading now. I don't want you to leave, I mumbled pathetically, staring down again. Which is exactly why I should. But don't worry, I'm essentially a selfish creature. I crave your company too much to do what I should. Ow, the edge. I'm glad. Don't be! He withdrew his hand more gently this time. His voice was harsher than usual. Well, harsh for him. Still more beautiful than any human voice. Ugh. It was hard to keep up. His sudden mood changes left me always a step behind, dazed. What happened to Mike? Mike was a good puppy. Mike doesn't do this shit.
He's busy building with brown bricks and white ground.
It's not only your company I crave. Never forget that. Yes, he also craves that mineral.
No!
Never forget that. Take a drink. Never forget I am more dangerous to you than I am to anyone else. Why her specifically? I don't think this has been covered. Has it? I don't know. This whole book blends together into a gray morass of stupid. He stopped, and I looked to see him gazing unseeingly into the forest. I thought for a moment. I don't think I understand exactly what you mean, by that last part, anyway. I said, yeah, okay, okay, this is new. Great, wonderful. That's, like, not even being sarcastic. I'm glad to know I just didn't miss it. Or am I? This book makes me confused. My brain hurts. He looked back at me and smiled, his mood shifting yet again, because of course it did. Fuck me. I don't see this much shifting in the 24 hours of Le Mans. Haha, car joke. Sorry. How do I explain, he mused, and without frightening you again? Was the really necessary? Of course it was. Of course it was, Stephanie. Why would I ever... Goddamn. Are you guys still here, by the way? You've been very quiet, and that always worries me. Oh, good. Great. So, once again, the fucking...
It's okay.
Oh, okay, so, well, you're here at least. Great. Thank fuck. I just don't even know what's going on anymore. Is Discord even working properly tonight?
It is for me. The only time I had trouble was my internet just kind of went down the crapper just real quick.
Okay, so apparently that's just the order of the night then. Let's keep this going.
And where's Slayer asks, where's Gandhi? I got him hostage.
Oh.
If you want to save him, you better support my Patreon.
How'd you take Gandhi hostage?
It's not too hard if you have several. It's not too hard if you give him a Playboy magazine.
Huh. Fair point. Without seeming to think about it, he placed his hand back in mine. I held it tightly in both of mine. He looked at our hands. God, the writing in this is awful. That's amazingly pleasant, the warmth, he sighed. A moment passed as he assembled his thoughts. You know how everyone enjoys different flavors, he began. Some people love chocolate ice cream, others prefer strawberry. I nodded. Sorry about the food analogy, I couldn't think of another way to explain.
Is this the Ogres Are Like Onions parallel with Twilight?
Oh, I really hope to God not. I smiled. He smiled ruefully back. You see, Every person smells different, has a different essence. If you locked an alcoholic in a room full of stale beer, he'd gladly drink it. But he could resist if he wished to, if he were a recovering alcoholic. Now, let's see, you placed in that room a glass of 100-year-old brandy, the rarest, finest cognac, and filled the room with its warm aroma. How do you think he would fare then?
I'm just as confused as you. What?
God. We sat silently, looking into each other's eyes, trying to read each other's thoughts. He broke the silence first. Maybe that's not the right comparison. Maybe it would be too easy to turn down the brandy. Perhaps I should have made our alcoholic a heroin addict instead.
Why are you a heroin addict?
Okay, as an Ohioan, this offends me. Not even joking. Okay, maybe joking a little bit. So what you're saying is I'm your brand of heroin? I teased, trying to lighten the mood. He smiled swiftly, seeming to appreciate my effort. Yes, you are exactly my brand of heroin. My brand!
My brand!
Does that happen often? I asked. He looked across the treetops, thinking through his response. I spoke to my brothers about it. He still stared into the distance. To Jasper, every one of you is much the same. He's the most recent to join our family. It's a struggle for him to abstain at all. He hasn't had time to grow sensitive to the differences in smell and flavor. So, what you're saying is he's a pleb. Real brotherly of you there, buddy.
Bitch.
Oh, hi, Wendy.
Hi.
He glanced Swifty? He glanced Swifty at me.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get swifty.
He glanced swiftly at me, his expression apologetic. Sorry, he said. I don't mind. Please don't worry about offending me or frightening me or whichever. That's the way you think. I can understand, or I can try to at least. Just explain however you can. Yes, please, get on with it. He took a deep breath and
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Right, well, that's one more thing I need to put on the soundboard. Boy, this is so slow-paced I lost track again, while staring at the page. He took a deep breath and gazed at the sky again. So Jasper wasn't sure if he'd ever come across someone who was as... He hesitated, looking for the right word. Appealing as you are to me. Which makes me think not. Emmett has been on the wagon longer, so to speak, and he understood what I meant. He says twice for him, once stronger than the other. And for you? Never. The word hung there for a moment in the warm breeze. Oh my god, I'm his favorite flavor. What did Emmett do?
I was just pudding.
What did Emmett do? I asked, to break the silence. It was the wrong question to ask. Do you ever ask the right question? Starting to feel like you don't.
This is Twilight, what do you think?
My point exactly. His face grew dark, his hand clenched into a fist inside mine. He looked away. I waited, but he wasn't going to answer, because he's a fucking drama queen. I guess I know, I finally said. He lifted his eyes, his expression was wistful, pleading. Even the strongest of us fall off the wagon, don't we? What are you asking, my permission? My voice was sharper than I'd intended. I tried to make my tone kinder. I could guess what his honesty must cost him. I mean, is there no hope, then? How calmly I could discuss my own death. I can't even with this bitch. No! He was instantly contrite. Of course there's hope. I mean, of course I won't... He left the sentence hanging. His eyes burned into mine. It's different for us. Emmett, these were strangers he happened across. It was a long time ago, and he wasn't as practiced, as careful as he is now. He fell silent and watched me intently as I thought it through. So, if we'd met, in a dark alley or something, I trailed off. Did you forget the time you guys actually did meet in a dark alley?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
It took everything I had not to jump up in the middle of that class full of children, and... He stopped abruptly, looking away. When you walked past me, I could have ruined everything Carlisle has built for us, right then and there. If I hadn't been denying my thirst for the last, too many years, I wouldn't have been able to stop myself. He paused, scowling at the trees. Damn trees. They made me do it.
Confound these trees! Oh, how I hate them! They drive me to drink!
Ed, backslide. Good. Yes. Perfect.
Bella! I love you! But you should fear me! Because confound those...
Steal it! No one will ever know!
Unhand her, Dan Backslide.
Unhand her, Dan Backslide. Unhand her, Dan Backslide. Hey, we're getting the rut.
He glanced at me grimly, both of us remembering. You must have thought I was possessed. I mean, I thought you were just being a drama queen. Again, as usual. I couldn't understand why. How could you hate me so quickly? To me, it was like you were some kind of demon summoned straight from my own personal hell to ruin me. Again, technically, should be capitalized. Hell. Capital H. The fragrance coming off your skin. I thought it would make me deranged that first day. Welcome to my world. In that 1 hour, I thought of 100 different ways to lure you from the room with me, to get you alone, and I fought them each back, thinking of my family, what I could do to them. I had to run out to get away before I could speak the words, make you follow. I don't care. Oh my God. He looked up then at my staggered expression as I tried to absorb his bitter memories. His golden eyes, take a drink, and then go watch a Bond film. Scorched from under his lashes, hypnotic and deadly. You would have come, he promised. Oh my.
Just grab him in the biscuit.
I tried to speak calmly. Without a doubt. In fact, I am right now. I swear. It's so hard to believe sometimes that Stephanie Meyer isn't doing that on purpose. And then I read other shit. And then I read onward, and I realize just... Nerp. 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 He frowned down at my hands, releasing me from the force of his stare. And then, as I tried to rearrange my schedule in a pointless attempt to avoid you, you were there, in that close, warm little room. The scent was maddening. I so very nearly took you then. Fucking...
Just grab him in the biscuit.
If I have to use that Humpty Trump thing one more time, I'm gonna break the 5 key. I just know it. There was only one other frail human there, so easily dealt with. I shivered in the warm sun, seeing my memories anew through his eyes, only now grasping the danger. Poor Ms. Cope. I shivered again at how close I'd come to being inadvertently responsible for her death. Oh, honey, you can't kill Roz. Stronger men than you have tried.
This office is now closed.
No! I would much prefer to be watching Monsters, Inc. right now.
I think we all would.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, this entire story would just be a 2319 in an instant.
Yeah. I'd love nothing more than to put that thing back where it came from, or so help me! So help me!
So help me!
And cut. But I resisted. I don't know how. I forced myself not to wait for you, not to follow you from the school. It was easier outside when I couldn't smell you anymore, to think clearly, to make the right decision. I left the others near home. I was too ashamed to tell them how weak I was. They only knew something was very wrong. And then I went straight to Carlisle at the hospital to tell him I was leaving. I stared in surprise. I traded cars with him. He had a full tank of gas and I didn't want to stop. I didn't dare to go home to face Esme. She wouldn't have let me go without a scene. She would have tried to convince me that it wasn't necessary. By the next morning, I was in Alaska!
Alaska?
I am so calling bullshit.
Where did Alaska come from?
You didn't have to... Do you know how far Alaska is from the continental United States' northern border with Canada? Because I happen to know. It's a little over 1,000 miles.
I guess Stephanie Meyer doesn't know. Unless she took unless they had Bella take a jet to Alaska when it happened.
Fucking... Why would you go all the way to Alaska?
I mean, I guess she really wants to be
driving on a full tank of gas and didn't want...
Oh, wait, let me guess.
Let
me guess. It was 1,000 miles to Alaska. He had a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes, it was dark, and he was wearing sunglasses.
Budget.
I
was going to say, maybe...
Now I want
I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, wait. Okay, now I remember. I guess she really wants to be on Deadliest Catch. No one knows what I'm talking about.
You only think that because you couldn't hear me spamming the rim shot.
Oh, okay. Ha! Don't mind me, I'm just downloading a bunch of wrestlers.
He sounded ashamed, as if admitting great cowardice. I spent 2 days there with some old acquaintances, but I was homesick. I hated knowing I'd upset Esme and the rest of them, my adopted family. In the pure air of the mountains, it was hard to believe you were so irresistible. You know where else there's mountains?
Simply irresistible!
You know where else there's mountains? In Washington.
You know where else has mountains? Arkansas.
No, it doesn't.
I know. I'm thinking.
A different region of Washington.
I'm thinking of Smoky Mountains. Never mind.
That's Tennessee, Kentucky.
There's the fucking casket.
And there goes Wendy's connection again. Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things.
Washington, just go to the Cascades.
There we go. Or go to frickin' Seattle. Or, like, within the Seattle-Tacoma metropolitan area, there's a bit of a volcano. Big one. Just go there. In fact, go there and chuck yourself into the crater, please. By all means. I'd love it if you did.
No.
Awesome. I convinced myself it was weak to run away. I'd dealt with temptation before, not of this magnitude, not even close. But I was strong. Who are you, an insignificant little girl, he grinned suddenly, to chase me from the place I wanted to be? So I came back. He stared off into space. Space! I couldn't speak.
Space.
Getting more to space.
Space. Want to go to space?
Get pulled over by the space cops, gotta go to space jail.
Spaceship!
Thank you, Benny.
Spaceship!
Spaceship! I took precautions, hunting, feeding more than usual before seeing you again. I was sure that I was strong enough to treat you like any other human. I was arrogant about it. It was unquestionably a complication that I couldn't simply read your thoughts to exposition, 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 even more exposition. I'm just trying to find out where the exposition ends.
It never ends.
I'm sorry, I'm not fucking reading all this. Yeah. I guess this will be good enough. He met my eyes again, and they were surprisingly tender. And for all that, he continued, I'd have fared better if I had exposed us all to that at that first moment, than if now, here, with no witnesses and nothing to stop me, I were to hurt you. I was human enough to have to ask, why? Isabella. He pronounced my full name carefully, then playfully ruffled my hair with his free hand. A shock ran through my body at his casual touch. Bella, I couldn't live with myself if I ever hurt you. Funny you say that. Let's see how long that holds throughout the series, huh? You don't know how it's tortured me. He looked down, ashamed again. The thought of you, still, white, cold. So exactly the same as she is anyway?
Boy, I hate the feeling of deja vu.
Don't you...
Deja vu! I just been in this place before. Higher on the street.
Yeah, we all saw that coming. To never see you blush scarlet again, to never see that flash of intuition in your eyes when you see through my pretenses, it would be unendurable. Well, at least he admits he's pretentious. He lifted his glorious, agonized eyes to mine. You are the most important thing to me now. The most important thing to me ever. And I'm over here puking. My head was spinning at the rapid change in direction our conversation had taken. From the cheerful topic of my impending demise, we were suddenly declaring ourselves. Declaring yourselves what? You were declaring... So you were just... Yes, hello, I am Bella, and I exist. Is that what you're doing? Is that what declaring yourself is? I don't fucking know what's going on here. Is that just... Is that just old people speak for...
I think it is old people speak.
For, like, bearing your soul or whatever people do? I don't fucking know.
I'm pretty sure it's old people speak.
Well,
More than likely.
Of course it is.
Hello? Which team that?
Hello, fellow children.
Yeah, how do you do, fellow kids?
Oh, Steve.
How you do, fellow kids? Also, fuck the revival.
He waited, and even though I looked down to study our hands between us, I knew his golden eyes were on me. Take a drink. You already know how I feel, of course, I finally said. I'm here, which, roughly translated, means I would rather die than stay away from you. I frowned. I'm an idiot. You are an idiot, he agreed with a laugh. I'm not going to disagree with either of them. Our eyes met, and I laughed too. We laughed together at the idiocy and sheer impossibility of such a moment. And so the lion fell in love with the lamb, he murmured. Okay, 1, take a drink. 2, don't flatter yourself, honey. I looked away, hiding my eyes as I thrilled to the word. What a stupid lamb, I sighed. You don't want me to bring up how sheep are amongst the most stupid beings on the face of the earth, do you? It's so stupid that if something in the middle of a flock of sheep scares them, whilst attempting to run away, they'll get caught following each other and just run circles around whatever is terrifying them. They're the dumbest fucking things in the world, and it's kind of hilarious. Except here, where it's just sad. What a sick, masochistic lion. He stared into the shadowy forest for a long moment, and I wondered where his thoughts had taken him. Why? I began, and then paused, not sure how to continue. Why? Don't make me go over the last few pages of exposition again. That's fucking why! He looked at me and smiled. Sunlight glinted off his face, his teeth. Most of him, really. That's kind of what they do, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes? Tell me why you ran away from me before. His smile faded. You know why. No, I mean, exactly what did I do wrong? I'll have to be on my guard, you see, so I'd better start learning what I shouldn't do. This, for example. I stroked the back of his hand. Seems to be all right. He smiled again. You didn't do anything wrong, Bella. It was my fault. Okay, I appreciate the whole informed consent thing. That's a good step here. That's actually not something I was expecting to see in this book. It's the stupidest informed consent discussion I've ever fucking seen, but, like, what the hell? But I want to help, if I can, to not make this harder for you. Well, he contemplated for a moment. It was just how close you were. It was how close you... It was how... You motherfucker, you've been invading her personal space this entire fucking book! Do you not remember every single occasion where you... Ah! Ugh. This is so stupid.
Yeah.
Can we at least get some consistent characterization here?
Continuity, not a polite suggestion.
Don't complain about your personal space when you've been ignoring hers since the start of the damn book.
I'll say it again. Continuity. Yes, I am from cinematic excrement. I don't.
Right, well, whatever that quote was from Cinematic Excrement, your connection butchered it.
What?
Oh, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And there's Ifrit, who's been entirely quiet for the last several minutes, and I'm honestly wondering if his connection hasn't crept out entirely.
No.
Okay, he just had nothing to say. Cool.
I've been downloading wrestlers all day. What can I say?
You and your wrestling. I don't blame you, but I don't blame you. Fire Pro Wrestling looks fucking awesome.
It is.
Okay, good. Gonna try again. Well, am I coming?
You were until you asked if you were coming through.
A fair man, the referee.
Seriously, I'm sorry. At some point, if and when, but mostly if, we start actually getting some viewers, I'm probably going to set up a Patreon just so we have some source of revenue in order to upgrade our stuff. I know you all don't... I know you've all... I know, Wendy, you've already been like, oh, don't start a Kickstarter for me, god damn it. But, like, A, this is getting a bit ridiculous, and B, it could theoretically benefit all of us. Because Lord knows, I can't keep using my laptop's built-in crappy microphone for really what is at this point a completely indefinite amount of time. Like, the sooner I can get at least like a blue snowball or something, the sooner I'm gonna sound, well, at least significantly less crappy.
I think I feel.
Yeah.
I'm going to change it, one way or another.
Yep. We kind of have to. It's hard to do without money, and money's hard to get without a job. And before y'all start calling me a freeloader, I've been looking for jobs for the past 14 months.
I got one promising lead so far. Hopefully, I promise.
I might, keyword might, have something lined up. A junkyard I applied for over the winter, which was a bad idea because because during winter that particular company, and in fact most companies that deal with scrap and other things related to the automotive industry tend to freeze their hiring over the winter. It's I noted the pun, but was also rather disappointed by it. The saddest pun ever.
My lead so far is potentially a jewelry store.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a jeweler that I applied at. Just need to send in my resume after I put in the application.
You could revolutionize the industry by selling dismembered bits of vampire.
I
Be right
wish.
Okay. Right, well, back to just the... Most humans instinctively shy away from us, are repelled by our alienness. I wasn't expecting you to come so close, and the smell of your throat. He stopped short, looking to see if he'd upset me. Alright, quit salivating. And people don't keep away from you because of your quote-unquote alienness. They keep away from you because you have literally zero social skills. Okay then. I said
You broke up on my end, so good to hear you.
Just commenting on how stupid this whole thing is. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay then, I said flippantly, trying to alleviate the suddenly tense atmosphere. I tucked my chin. No throat exposure. It worked. He laughed. No, really, it was more the surprise than anything else. He raised his free hand and placed it gently on the side of my neck. I sat very still, the chill of his touch a natural warning. A warning telling me to be terrified. But there was no feeling of fear in me. There were, however, other feelings.
Next.
Thank you, soundboard. You see, he said, perfectly fine. My blood was racing, and I wished I could slow it, sensing that this must make everything so much more difficult. The thudding of my pulse in my veins. Surely he could hear it. The blush on your cheeks is lovely. He murdered.
He murdered the blush on her cheeks.
No, he murmured. Take a drink. He gently freed his other hand. My hands fell limply into my lap. Softly, he brushed my cheek, then held my face between his marble hands. Be very still, he whispered, as if I wasn't already frozen. Well, that's another thing I need to add to the soundboard. I was frozen today!
Michael Rosen is gay.
Slowly, never moving his eyes from mine, he leaned toward me. Then, abruptly but very gently, he rested his cold cheek against the hollow at the base of my throat. What? Oh. Fuck it. I'm trying to figure out the logistics of this, and it sounds uncomfortable.
Don't worry, yes, for me too.
I listened to the sound of his even breathing, watching the sun and wind play in his bronze hair, more human than any other part of him. With deliberate slowness, his hands slid down the sides of my neck.
Just grab him in the biscuit.
Right, well, I wasn't really intending to get that kind of echo off of it, but I think you get the point. Thank you, Humpty. I shivered, and I could hear him catch his breath. But his hands didn't pause as they softly moved to my shoulders and then stopped. His face drifted to the side, his nose skimming across my collarbone. He came to rest with the side of his face pressed tenderly against my chest, listening to my heart. No, he's just never been that close to a boob in his life. Well, apart from the time he met the president. I missed the button. Ah, he sighed. Oh, he sighed. You could have just said he sighed. Fressum. Then again, this is the same book where we got such. This is the same book franchise that gave us such gems as "Ha, he laughed." Haven't seen that yet. I don't know if that's in this book, but if it is, I'm gonna have a good chuckle over it. I don't know how long we sat without moving. It could have been hours. It's been like having a cat on you. You desperately need to pee, but you don't want to disturb it. Only difference is that cats are actually adorable. And this is just weird. Eventually the throb of my pulse quieted, but he didn't move or speak again as he held me. I knew at any moment it could be too much and my life could end. So quickly that I might not even notice. And I couldn't make myself be afraid. I couldn't think of anything except that he was touching me. He's touching me! I'm not. Hey, Mom, he's touching me! Just do it.
Stop touching me!
No touchy, no touchy. No touch. And then, too soon, he released me. No touchy. You know what? Hold on. There we go. Just had to update the title. Don't mind me. It won't be so hard again, he said with satisfaction.
Yes.
You can... My co-hosts can probably imagine what part of the soundboard I used for that.
Yeah, probably.
Was that very hard for you? Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yes.
Not nearly as bad as I imagined it.
For you?
Not nearly as bad as I imagined it would be. And you? No, it wasn't bad for me.
Yes.
He smiled at my inflection. You know what I mean. I smiled. Here, he took my hand and placed it against his cheek. Do you feel how warm it is? I hope you mean his face.
Give me your face.
But... And it was almost warm, his usually icy skin. But I barely noticed, for I was touching his face, something I'd dreamed of constantly since the first day I'd seen...
What?
Oh my fucking god. Somehow she manages to be almost as creepy as he is. I mean, they're
all creepy.
Somebody could kindly just queue up Weezer's Creep right about now. That'd be perfect. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. There we are. Don't move, I whispered. No one could be still like Edward. Well, he's a fucking marble statue. What do you expect? He closed his eyes and became as immobile as stone, a carving under my hand. Well, good to know I was preempting exactly the joke that she was gonna... Okay. Seriously. Just... What? I can't help but feel like it would have been more expedient to just fuck a reproduction of Michelangelo's David at this point. That's basically what's going on here. I moved even more slowly than he had, careful not to make one unexpected move. I caressed his cheek, delicately stroked his eyelid. Why are you stroking his eyelid? That's weird.
That's disgusting.
The purple shadow in the hollow under his eye. The man wears makeup. Like, if that's your thing, cool, great. Good for you. But, like, really? I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure Stephanie Meyer is not the sort of person who would write about a male character wearing eyeshadow, or at the very least not positively. And yet she keeps writing this guy as if he's wearing purple eyeshadow. And that's...
Are you not surprised?
Not particularly. I traced the shape of his perfect nose, and then so carefully his flawless... His lips parted under my hand, and I could feel his cool breath on my fingertips. And then he just nips at her. Bad kitty! I wanted to lean in to inhale the scent of him. So I dropped my hand and leaned away, not wanting to push him too far. He opened his eyes, and they were hungry.
Hungry hippos?
See, I was going to make a Hungry Like the Wolf reference, but I think I'm going to save that for, I think I should probably save that for one of the later books.
New moon on Monday, and a twilight through the night.
I legitimately cannot remember which one of the books is the one where, spoilers, as if anybody cares, Edward just up and disappears, so she rebounds on Jacob.
Yeah, it's probably New Moon.
Let's go with that. Sure, what the fuck not. Don't give a shit. Toilet. Not in a way to make me fear, but rather to tighten the muscles in the pit of my stomach and send my pulse hammering through my veins again. Oh, I don't think it's his eyes doing that.
Just grab him in the biscuit.
I was wondering if I'd ever have any use for that particular clip, and as it turns out, I do. Amazing. I wish, he whispered, I wish you could feel the complexity, the confusion I feel. That you could understand. Oh, believe me, I do! Sigma is confused. He hurt himself in his confusion. He raised his hand to my hair, then carefully brushed it across my face. Tell me, I breathed. I don't think I can. I've told you, on the one hand, the hunger, the thirst, that deplorable creature that I am, I feel for you. I think you can understand that to an extent. Though, he half smiled. As you are not addicted to any illegal substances, you probably can't empathize completely. I mean, there are legal addictive substances. You're aware of this, yes? Like caffeine?
No, of course not. What are you talking about?
The rogue nation of Touchy has outlawed caffeine in an ongoing war against drugs.
That's just silly.
With apologies to Ronan Pawn. But yes, that is actually just silly, because Touchy has a policy that is essentially legalize all the drugs. Anywho. But his finger touched my lips lightly, making me shiver again. There are other hungers. Hungers I don't even understand, that are foreign to me. Oh my.
Like Hunger Games, for example.
Okay, I don't even like the Hunger Games, and I'm still going to say, please don't reference better books when we're talking about a bad book.
I can't make any promises.
Oh, Venipede is just Slayer's troll account. Probably should have figured. Which essentially means that, I mean, wait.
I mean, this is Slayer we're talking about.
Why do you have a troll account? You're plenty ridiculous on your main account. And I say,
they need a troll. You need a troll account so you can just troll people without consequences.
well, that's no fun. Whatever. I may understand that better than you think.
Next.
Also take a drink because italicization again. I'm not used to feeling so human. Is it always like this? Psst! Hey, Ifrit.
What?
I think they're talking about the Humpy Bumpy.
Oh my!
For me? I paused. No, never. Never before this. He held my hands between his. They felt so feeble in his iron strength. I don't know how to be close to you, he admitted. I don't know if I can. Don't make me mention you constantly invading her personal space repeatedly over the course of the book. That's not the kind of clothes he was talking about, was it? Or was it?
Nope.
I legitimately have no idea at this point. I leaned forward very slowly, cautioning him with my eyes. I placed my cheek against his stone chest. I could hear his breath and nothing else. That sounds less like something out of a vampire novel and more like something out of a trashy fanfic written about that one anime that's like a pop idol group, but they're all marble busts of Enlightenment era philosophers.
Love Live?
Sure.
I knew it.
I didn't.
I knew no halation that had some meaning to it.
This is enough, I sighed, closing my eyes. In a very human gesture, he put his arms around me and pressed his face against my hair. Hair.
Oh, that's good hairspray.
I think we might have just referenced back to our 50 Shades readings.
Probably.
I can't believe we've actually been around long enough to start doing callbacks to our own stuff now. We've come so far, and yet we still only have 3 people watching.
Well, at least they try to advertise more, or at least play some popular games like the Overwatches or the Minecrafts.
I actually would not mind playing Minecraft. Except between that and streaming, my laptop would probably explode. So, maybe not at this moment. Yeah. Anyway. You're better at this than you give yourself credit for, I noted. I have human instincts. They may be buried deep, but they're there. We sat like that for another immeasurable moment. I wondered if he could be as unwilling to move as I was. But I could see the light was fading, the shadows of the forest beginning to touch us, and I sighed. You have to go. I thought you couldn't read my mind. It's getting clearer. I could hear a smile in his voice. Okay, is he serious about that, or... I'm getting really sick of the inconsistency with the vampiric power, so I don't even know if he's being serious with that statement, or what. Whatever.
I don't know.
He took my shoulders and I looked into his face. Can I show you something? He asked, sudden excitement flaring in his eyes. Show me what?
X.
I love my soundboard. I'll show you how I travel how I travel in the forest. He saw my expression. Don't worry, you'll be very safe and we'll get to your truck much faster. Oh, here we go, it's that scene. So, who's ready for Mach Speed Piggyback?
Do we have to?
Unfortunately. His mouth twitched up into that crooked smile so beautiful that my heart nearly stopped. Will you turn into a bat? I asked warily. He laughed louder than I'd ever heard. Like I haven't heard that one before. Right, I'm sure you get that all the time. Come on, little coward, climb onto my back. Yes, she's clearly a coward. She's too I love how she draws the line at piggyback as well. You know, this is so...
This is so stupid.
Yes, thank you.
Like, this is ass retarded right now.
I waited to see if he was kidding, but apparently he meant it. He smiled as he read my hesitation and reached for me. My heart reacted. Even though he couldn't hear my thoughts, my pulse always gave me away. He then proceeded to sling me onto... Hi. You're just in time for high-speed piggyback.
Oh, God.
He then proceeded to sling me onto his back with very little effort on my part. Besides, when in place, clamping my legs and arms so tightly around him that it would choke a normal person. Okay, that was a run-on sentence and a half. It was like clinging to a stone. I'm a bit heavier than your average backpack, I warned. Ha! He snorted. I could almost hear his eyes rolling. I'd never seen him in such high spirits before. He startled me, suddenly grabbing my hand, pressing my palm to his face, and inhaling deeply.
Oh, that's good hand sanitizer.
He's here all the time, he muttered. And then he was running. If I'd ever felt death before in his presence, it was nothing compared to how I felt now. Oh, come on, it can't be as bad as his driving. He streaked through the dark, thick underbrush of the forest like a bullet. Like a ghost. Oh, he streaked, did he? He streaked!
Streaking!
Next.
As often as I'm using Pro Jared's next thing, I'm honestly worried I might be getting a DMCA claim from him. Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, you could say that he was running in the 90s.
That would have made that scene in the movie far more tolerable.
I know.
Which is kind of sad when you think about it.
Oh my god.
There was no sound, no evidence that his feet touched the earth. His breathing never changed, never indicated any effort, but the trees flew by at deadly speeds, always missing us by inches. Okay, so it's one of those dime a dozen Naruto running through the trees shots. Great, wonderful.
We are fighting, we must calculate the mathematics.
I will end you to death, I swear to God!
Come on, fight, dreamers. Come on, one of yours.
I'm surrounded by
Let's
weeds!
go, on. Right here, right now, burn! Come talk to catch on fire.
Why am I surrounded by weeds?
Because I actually liked the show in high school. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, you weren't the only one.
Oh boy, was she not the only one. Actually, I think...
I just got tired of it after the endless filler.
I mean,
So did I.
Am I the only one who got really tired of just the constant flashbacks and whatnot, like, really early on? Like...
Not really.
I tried to watch through the Zabuza arc and failed.
Oh,
See, I got into it like around the time of the Chunin exams arc.
Wasn't that just like a whole lot of nothing?
it's not as filler intensive as people make it out to be.
Whatever. All I know about Naruto
It's only-
Well,
is the
see,
all I know about Naruto is the pacing's almost as slow
to
as...
not watch the filler, but the
Well, there goes her connection again. So, I'm going to just say my piece, and that's the... To me, it's always been a case of the pacing in Naruto being every bit as slow as... Well, every bit as slow as what we're reading right now, actually. Ain't that convenient. And it's good... And it's a good segue for me to get back into reading. So I shall. I was too terrified to close my eyes, though the cool forest air whipped against my face and burned them. I felt as if I were stupidly sticking my head out the window of an airplane in flight. You can't do that, though. That's not... It's not how...
Not with that attitude.
I was about to ask how hard is your head, but honestly, it's you, so I think I've got a pretty good idea.
Hey, I resent that.
Well, if you'd like, you could always respond by pointing out that that's a rather bad double entendre.
What makes a good double entendre, for that matter?
The van was still coming?
Next.
Go back to sleep, Sigma.
Oh, come on. You know you loved that bit. Okay. Then it was over. It's over!
9,000!
Sure. We'd hiked hours this morning to reach Edward's Meadow, and now, in a matter of minutes, we were back to the truck. Exhilarating, isn't it? His voice was high, excited. He stood motionless, waiting for me to climb down. I tried, but my muscles wouldn't respond. My arms and legs stayed locked around him while my head spun uncomfortably. Bella? He asked, anxious now. I think I need to lie down, I gasped. Oh, sorry. He waited for me, but I still couldn't move. I think I need help, I admitted. He laughed quietly and gently unloosened my stranglehold on his neck. Oh, unfortunately, being a vampire, he probably doesn't actually have to breathe. Also, insert autoerotic asphyxiation joke here, I guess.
That's good suffocation.
There was no resisting the iron strength of his hands, and I love how she always comes back to the same fucking descriptions of everything. Then he pulled me around to face him, cradling me in his arms like a small child. He held me for a moment, then carefully placed me on the springy ferns. Springy ferns?
Rainy?
Like Gallifans.
Springy. I was not under the impression that ferns were bouncy. I've seen plenty of ferns in my life. We've got... My mom likes to keep a whole bunch of them out on the back porch during summer, but, like... Springy? Really? They're not even soft. You know what the hell ever. How do you feel? He asked. I couldn't be sure how I felt when my head was spinning so crazily. Dizzy, I think. Put your head between your knees. So what you're telling her to do is bend over.
Do she get the booty? No.
Just grab him in the biscuit.
Really getting a lot of mileage out of that Humpty Hump line. Holy shit. You know the one, Wendy. Well, you would know the one if you hadn't had your connection crap out again. Okay.
What? Oh.
Oh, there you are. I tried that, and it helped a little. I breathed in and out slowly, keeping my head very still. I felt him sitting beside me. The moments passed, and eventually I found that I could raise my head. There was a hollow ringing sound in my ears. Oh, great. Now she's gonna start collecting iPods with various different songs on them, and start doing getaway driving for a bank robbing syndicate.
What?
For God's sake, go watch Baby Driver!
Oh, that's what...
Yes. Yes, that was what. I guess that wasn't the best idea, he mused. I tried to be positive, but my voice was weak. No, it was, very interesting. You're white as a ghost. No, you're white as me. I mean, again, I fail to see how that's any different from the norm for Bella, but okay, sure. I think I should have closed my eyes. Remember that next time. Next time, I groaned. He laughed, his mood still radiant. Show off, I muttered. Open your eyes, Bella, he said quietly.
Open your eyes. Wake up, Bella.
And he was right there, his face so close to mine. Edward, what did we say about personal space? His beauty stunned my mind. It was too much, an excess I couldn't grow accustomed to. I was thinking while I was running. He paused. About not hitting the trees, I hope.
Next.
Silly Bella, he chuckled. Tricks are for kids. Running is second nature. Tome. Running
nice
is second
space
nature.
name.
Tome.
It's supposed to say to me, but the space it makes it look like tome.
It's okay. Bella likes books.
Frickin' PDFs.
It's not the PDFs though.
Well, I like to think it's the PDFs.
Show
Because I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. I really do.
Except I've already looked online and confirmed through third-party sources that the physical books are the exact same way.
Oh my god.
We've had this discussion already.
I must have missed those parts.
Yeah, yes you must have. Anyway, running is second nature, Tome. It's not something I have to think about. Show off, I muttered again. He smiled. No, he continued. I was thinking there was something I wanted to try. And he took my face in his hands again.
Just grab him in the biscuit.
It's like whoever wrote this knew that 12 years on... Well, by whoever wrote this, I obviously mean Stephanie Meyer. It's like she knew that 12 years on, we'd be reading this on the live stream, and I would have a soundboard with this on it.
Just grab him in the biscuit.
Just... God, so many chances for sex jokes in this. It's ridiculous. I couldn't breathe. Remember what I said earlier about autoerotic asphyxiation? He hesitated. Not in the normal way, the human way. Not the way a man might hesitate before he kissed a woman, to gauge a reaction, to see how he would be received. Perhaps he would hesitate to prolong the moment, that ideal moment of anticipation, something sometimes better than the kiss itself. Couldn't we have just said he hesitated?
No,
Or better yet,
that'd be too easy.
Couldn't we have just skipped to Edward hesitated to test himself to see if this was safe, to make sure he was still in control of his need? His mighty need!
Next.
And then his cold, marble lips pressed very softly against mine. I hope you mean your face.
Just grab him in the biscuit.
I just can't. I can't not. What neither of us was prepared for was my response. Blood boiled under my skin, burned my lips. My breath came in a wild gasp. My fingers knotted in his hair, clutching him to me. My lips parted as I breathed in his heady scent. Okay, now I'm really not sure if she meant his face. Or if she meant her face. He meant her face. Not face. Lips. But... Cunnilingus! I'm talking about Cunnilingus! Immediately I felt him turn to unresponsive stone beneath my lips. God damn it!
Next. 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 Next.
This is the best, worst day of my life!
This is horrible.
I can't make this shit up. His hands, gently, but with irresistible force, pushed my face back.
Irresistible force meets the immovable object.
Okay, I guess it was her face. Like, still though.
Next.
Just... Next. Yeah. I opened my eyes and saw his guarded expression. Oops, I breathed. That's an understatement. No, that's 2 understatements. His eyes were wild, his jaw clenched in acute restraint, yet he didn't lapse from his perfect articulation. He held my face just inches from his. He dazzled my eyes. Should I tried to disengage myself to give him some room. His hands refused to let me move so much as an inch. No, it's tolerable. Wait for a moment, please. It's my first time. I've read
It's
enough.
my first time too.
I've read enough hentai to know where this is going, or at the very least, where this already is. His voice was polite, controlled. I kept my eyes on his, watched as the excitement in them faded and gentled. I don't think gentle is a verb. Then he smiled a surprisingly impish grin. There, he said, obviously pleased with himself. Tolerable? I asked. He laughed aloud. I'm stronger than I thought. It's nice to know. I wish I could say the same. I'm sorry. Well, you are only human after all. Thanks so much, I said, my voice acerbic. I love how she goes on like, oh, he's so articulated, he knows just what to say, and then he says this. He was on his feet in one of his lithe, almost invisibly quick movements. He held out his hand to me, an unexpected gesture. I was so used to our standard of careful non-contact. I took his icy hand, needing the support more than I thought. My balance had not yet returned. She's clumsy!
Boy, you ever get the feeling of deja vu?
Don't! He's gonna...
I'm not. I'm in Fire Pro at the moment. I can't do anything.
Oh, thank fuck. Are you still faint from the run? Or was it my kissing expertise? How lighthearted. I'm sorry, I just... They're still talking about it like he was eating her out!
Oh my!
How lighthearted, how human he seemed as he laughed now, his seraphic face untroubled. He was a different Edward than the one I had known. I felt all the more besotted by him. Okay.
This still sounds so wrong!
You know, when you use the word besotted in this context, it kinda does. It would cause me physical pain to be separated from him now.
Oh, jeez!
Okay, I think we can now confirm that marble vampires have nuts. Great. The furries are gonna go crazy with that one. I've scarred everybody in here, and I regret everything. I can't be sure. I'm still woozy, I managed to respond. I think it's some of both, though. Maybe you should let me drive. Are you insane? I protested. I love how this is actually the first time she's asking him that as well. Or, indeed, that she has to ask. I can drive better than you on your best day, he teased. You have much slower reflexes. I'm sure that's true, but I don't think my nerves or my truck could take it. Some trust, please, Bella. My hand was in my pocket, curled tightly around the key. I pursed my lips, deliberated, then shook my head with a tight grin. Nope, not a chance. Smartest thing she's done all book. He raised his eyebrows in disbelief. I started to step around him, heading for the driver's side. He might have let me pass if I hadn't wobbled slightly. Then again, he might not have. His arm created an inescapable snare around my waist. Bella, I've already expended a great deal of personal effort at this point to keep you alive. I'm not about to let you behind the wheel of a vehicle when you can't even walk straight. Besides, friends don't let friends drive drunk, he quoted with a chuckle. I could smell the unbearably sweet fragrance coming off his chest. Drunk, I objected. You're intoxicated by my very presence. Oh, don't be so full of yourself, you shithead. You're intoxicated by my very presence. He was grinning like playful smirk again. I can't argue with that. I'm reading super fast now because I just want this to be over with. I sighed. There is no way around it. I couldn't resist him in anything. I held the key high and dropped it, watching his hand flash like lightning to catch it soundlessly. Take it easy. My truck's a senior citizen. Oh, where was this all? Oh, I spoke like a tank from earlier, huh? Can't even be consistent about your opinion on your own truck. Very sensible, he approved. And are you not affected at all? I asked, irked by my presence. Again, his mobile features transformed. His expression became soft, warm. He didn't answer at first. He simply bent his face to mine and brushed his lips slowly along my jaw, from my ear to my chin, back and forth. I trembled. I mean, at least that time it was pretty obviously her face. I hope. Regardless, he finally murmured, I have better reflexes. It just... And that's how the chapter ends, okay?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
That felt... What kind of chapter was that?
Oh, the kind of chapter where I can make so many sex jokes.
This chapter was crap.
On the bright side, it went by much quicker than the last 2 or 3 chapters have. And, like, shit happened, sort of. Granted, there was a whole big chunk of... there was a whole big chunk of rather obvious exposition that anybody could have fucking guessed. But, like... Other than that... Things, I guess, happened? Was that, like, the Mormon equivalent of a sex scene or something? I'm gonna go with that. It was a Mormon sex scene.
It was a mind fuck. Let's just go with that.
And Slayer's response is, all we need is the van. The van's a rocket.
All you need is the van. All you need is a van. All you need is a van.
That is still coming.
All you need is the van? I'm never going to be able to look at vans the same way after this book. And then there was silence. The sound of silence.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Oh my god! Stop referencing me in your live streams, for I am Josh!
Shut up, Josh!
For those of you who don't know who Darkness the Curse is,
shut up, Adachi.
keep it that way. Just keep it that way. Or watch Asa Lieri's reviewing a reviewer on him. His receding hairline will never not amuse me.
Oh, guys, got a receding hairline. It's been forever since I've watched him.
Yeah, he went from Mr. Tresemme. I love the fact that like everybody who knew him closely just called him Tresemme as well. You can thank Lily for that one. I should probably mention right now that I'm sure there's a lot of people who have no idea who we're talking about right now, and I'm just going to sum it up as this. Grandpa's been on the internet a long time, chillins. A long, long time.
Yeah, another name he's had for a while was Sparkles, because he looked like the guy who played James in the Twilight film.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Oh, jeez. I forgot about that.
Oh, all the more reason to reference him in this shit.
I can't believe you guys forgot about that.
Oh boy. I mean, it has been a long time.
Okay, it's been a while.
Whew.
Meanwhile, I got a league set up. It's Pentagon Jr. versus New Jack.
Pentagon Jr.?
Pentagon Jr. Hold on. Hold on. You know who he is? I gotta find a picture of him.
Oh no. Yes, Edward is in fact a glitter monster. He's fabulous! I just have no idea what the hell. Just these live streams go in the most interesting directions when we get off track.
Yeah.
Hell, they go in ridiculous directions even when we're on track.
Yep.
Ifrit pushed the button and then said nothing. Okay. Well, I think that...
This is Pentagon Jr.
Oh, good. We actually do get... This is going to be interesting. Oh, he's a for real dude. Okay. He doesn't even look all that pentagonal.
He's a luchador. His deal Zero Fear, Cero Miedo.
Yes, but he's also not a five-sided object.
He was, but he was originally Octagon Jr., but he became Pentagon Jr. after he lost a few of his sides.
He was Dr. Octagonopus?
Yes.
It's just about to finish that. Oh my god!
And that should tell you about how long we've been on the internet. We remember Dr. Octagonopus. Well, I think that's about all the time we've got for this week. If you liked what you saw, guys, by all means, have a look down in the doobly-doo. I can never remember what that bit's called. But yeah, just look
The
down
video description.
Sure. Check out the video description for links to our Facebook and Out of Context Tumblr page. You'll have a grand old time.
But by the way, spread it around like wildfire.
Oh, yes.
Everybody know that the analog kids are here in the house.
Keep circulating the tapes, kids. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and have a great night. End of line.
Bye-bye.